Stop chasing. What's going on, y'all? It's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny, and you know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, this is the first live. This is the first live. Who we got up in here? Who we got up in here? Right? The moment that you come in, listen, just drop where you're from. Right? Where you chiming in from? I'm trying to see who's who's on the live, who we got in here. All right, it's the first live on Marcel Profit's channel. Okay. So today it's the first lock-in session. What is a lock-in session? We locking in, right? It may change from day to day, whatever we deem is necessary. We go over some setups for the next day. We may go over some leaps, like some long-term things. We might portfolio build. We might do some research. We might answer questions. Well, we always gonna answer questions, right? But we just gonna take deep dives. 30 minutes to an hour each day, just making sure that we staying locked in to the market so that come 2026, you're not trying to figure things out. Like you're already ready to go. All right. So welcome. If it's your first time on my channel, welcome. Listen, this is my first time doing a live. All right. It's my first time doing a live. I've literally never done this before, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it do what it do. I see we got 6 people in here. Y'all keep on coming in, and then we're gonna get into it. All right. So, hold on. Matter of fact, let me make sure I can see y'all. Okay. All right. Now we got the chat up. Okay. QTZ, I see you. Okay. We got Michelle in here. Good to see you from Augusta. Pam, good to see you. Okay. Got Best Beezy in here, Pittsburgh in the house. Awesome. Listen, so again, the point of this, the point of going live is just really, like I said, it's just lock in, making sure we're staying on top of, like what it is that we can stay on top of so that we can be successful in the day to come, right? So what I want basically is just to open the floor to anything that you want to go a little bit deeper into, right? I have a few stocks that I'm going to share with y'all, but if there's anything that you want me to look into, give my perspective on it for the short term, medium term, or long term, feel free to drop it in the comments. Miss Virgo, how you feeling? Good to see you. All right. So I'm actually just going to start off. I'm going to kick it off and just go into a play that I think would be really good for you guys. All right. So this is something that I've been watching for a little bit. AMD, right? AMD is something that I really want y'all to pay attention to. All right? AMD, yes, it does have this gap to fill. Yes, it's on my watch list to potentially come down and fill this gap right here. But what's even better brewing for AMD is just this. Right, I'm gonna show you in this second. I'll pull this ruler tool up, right? So we're gonna go from highs. We can go from highs on AMD down here to where it's at right now. All right, so it closed right here. All right, so anybody in the comments, can you tell me in the comments what it means when we have this type of a pullback? Y'all let me know in the comments what that means when we had that kind of a pullback. Big Sean, what's going on, man? Yeah, we'll definitely do IWM too. You said when you get a chance, what do you think about SoFi? Okay, yeah, we'll do SoFi too. All right, so with AMD, right? I just showed y'all the measured distance to where it is, right? I use the ruler tool. I'll do it again. Right? Look at what this is saying. So where it is right now. What does that mean? We have a 20%, more than 20% pullback in a highly undervalued stock, right? A highly undervalued stock. Now I know when we're day trading, like we're typically like, all right, we're looking for plays that are forming that week. We got this gap right here to fill. Here's something about the gap, and I think I mentioned this to y'all before. Gaps don't always get filled, right? If they don't get filled immediately, a lot of times, like basically what happens is like the likelihood of it getting filled just lessens and lessens as the days go by. So there are gaps on the daily that do not get filled. Okay, with AMD and the market at large, what I'm seeing is that we may be finding a reversal period. Now, this gap could still be filled, but I do not believe that we are going into a bearish market in the short term. I think it could possibly be like end of the year next year or 2027, and I'm going to show you why. Right, so we got these pullbacks that have been refusing to break into correction territory. They've been holding strong for the longest, and right now on the weekly, SPY does look like it can come down a little bit, but the furthest that I think it would come down is just to get whatever gap fill needs to take place right there. But since we have this failed 2D here on the weekly, and we still have not come below the body of that failed 2D, it shows that AMD is not wanting to come down. So this is something that I'll put this in the group, as well for everybody that's in, the Prosperity Collective. When you get in the group and go to the Leap section, I'll add this. I already got XYZ in there. I know I got Riot in there, and a few others I won't mention. I'll keep that for people in the group. But AMD is prime for a leap, right? Like I said, a minimum 20% pullback is what we're looking for in great companies. This is a great company and also severely undervalued. I see AMD going to $400 or $500 in the next few years. But next year, I see AMD going to at least 360, 370, right? Tapping on the door of 400. So what I would recommend for AMD is getting contracts that have like a high delta for leaps, right? High delta for leaps out to 2027. All right. I'll put all the like the specifics about the exact expiration date and a little bit more of my analysis in the group. I don't want to give too much of that away for people that are in the Prosperity Collective. But AMD, definitely keep that on your radar. Definitely go do an analysis of it because I think that one is going to the moon, like even crazier than what it's gone so far. It had a down year last year, got beat up, came and recovered really nicely this year, and I think we need to go space station next year. All right, so let's see. Adam, what up, bro? Good to see you. Toya, how you feeling? She said probably still waiting on the live notification. That's where. Okay. Oh, it says bright idea to click on the rest. Oh yeah. I'm glad you finally made it in. All right. Hey, he said, bro, crib so big you can hear the echo. That's true prosperity. You know what? Yeah, it is prosperity, but also that probably means that my mic is not triggering. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, if we don't get it figured out this time, we'll get it figured out next time for sure. But yo, Alchemist, you a funny dude. You a funny dude for that GIF you posted. Yeah, it's definitely time to start accumulating, QTZ. Definitely time to start accumulating. P, what up, man? How you feeling? Yo, make sure if you haven't already, give this a like. Share it so we can get this into the algorithm. All right, I'm going to go over some of the the stocks that y'all want to see. If there's any more that y'all want to look at, definitely just put it in the comment section. So who did we have first? We had Darrell. What up, man? You said you ain't got to go to the yeah, exactly. All right, so yeah, we'll go SoFi. All right. Firstly, I'm gonna just say this: like SoFi is just, again, just like AMD is like severely undervalued. So I'm looking at this on a weekly. Let's go to the daily really quick. See what we got. Okay. Okay, so SoFi has been in this range. SoFi has been in this range for how long? We're talking about what? Damn near August. SoFi has been in this little bit of a range, right? So it's in a range. I'm not gonna say consolidation, but it's in a range, right? We see that we have a failed 2D on SoFi on the daily, so you know that is definitely a sign of a reversal. We have this gap here at 28.44. So you know this could definitely be you know a place that it wants to come up and test based off of you know how it performed today and the rest of the market. We should be seeing a little bit of a bounce, but I do want y'all to keep in mind though, right? And I also like, you know, I know I called like I think I called like a swing or two this week. We should probably stay away from the swings this week because there is a lot of like volatility is going on intraday, right? So y'all already saw what the market did today. I mean, we've been talking about manipulation, you know, like damn near every day. But even though there's a failed 2D right here on SoFi, the market is coming off of a failed 2 up, right? The market has a lot of you know space down to the downside, right? A lot of liquidity down that side. So we may get a day or two, maybe just a day of some upside, but I don't want to rule out the downside. You know what I mean? I don't want to completely say that like we're going to come up here and like retest this. Matter of fact, let me throw these on real quick. Y'all know I love the Bollinger Bands too. Let me throw these on and see you know see what it's talking about. Yeah, I probably just need to restart. Yeah. All right, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that, but I'm pretty sure on the Bollinger Band is probably nearing the bottom band. Like I'll definitely confirm that a little bit later. So you know, we could see a retracement to the middle band on the Bollinger Band, which probably is sitting right about. And I'm doing this blindly, y'all, but just based off of reps. This is typically how it works. This gap probably also represents the middle part of the Bollinger Band, right? So it may not be a bad move to you know to try to take it you know up to that level, see what it does, you know, and take your profits intraday, not swinging. But until we break out of this range for SoFi, I don't really see it pumping too crazy, right? Now, if we break out of this range to the upside, I love it. If you're getting SoFi like for long term, I love that too, right? All right, so we got IWM next. You already know Markland. We let the trades come out. He said they just had 2 public offerings, 2 within the last 6 months. And look at the CEO info. Found 140. Oh wow, okay. Yeah. So yeah, they could definitely be coming down. But like I said, if your outlook is for the long term, up for sure, right? SoFi is going to be like a multi-$100 stock. I truly believe that. Let's see what else. Do you grab leaps and then add over time? No, absolutely, Adam. Listen, so this is what I do with leaps, y'all. Like, pay attention to this, right? So when I'm getting leaps, I know people talk about like averaging in as it's going down. It's like when you're in a leap, your levels are adding points, right? If your target is, so say for AMD, say our target is $300, right? We'll have adding points, right? If it comes out of that 20, we're down 20% right now, right? The stock itself, the security itself is down 20%. When it finally breaks the highs, it's not just breaking the highs for the first time. It's coming with force because of the pullback, right? So, and this is on a daily. So we're talking about it could go crazy for weeks, months at a time, just from that, just from that pullback, right? A jump out of a correction, a jump out of a pullback are very, very strong when it comes to the upside. So if, like I said, if you're in a leap, you set your target, right? Depending on, like what the pattern is how you determine the target. So if we don't know what those new highs are, but we got a bull flag, we can take the distance of the bull flag and just tack it onto the breakout, right? Or if it's not a bull flag and it's just a break and retest, we take the distance of that previous pump and add it to the next one once it breaks through, right? That's how you can get an idea of what a stock's target is going to be when you have no levels to go off of. All right, so that's just something to keep in mind. So yeah, when I'm with leaps, when they break certain levels, I just continue adding on. Yes, it'll bring down your average a little bit, but you got a much longer outlook, so you're not too concerned about it, and it'll definitely show up in your money. All right. So we got so far. I'm gonna look at IWM. I think somebody asked about IWM. Man, IWM had a nice little fall today. I think they were as low as like they were down. I think like 1.4% at some point today. IWM is definitely like just an everyday stock. Yeah, and I think Zay, this is probably Zay's one of his favorite stocks to trade. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So all right. So I want to say this about this, right? When we get these indecision candles like this, like these dojis, understand that it's still a lower low and a lower high. I'm sorry, it's still a lower high and a lower low, right? So with that being said, that indecision could still continue down. This is not a reversal signal. I want y'all to understand that. A doji is not a reversal signal. It can be, right? It can be if you get the confirmation. A doji with a confirmation is a reversal signal. A doji alone could equal continuation. I want y'all to understand that, right? This right here could continue down, all the way. I would say all the way to about. We could at least see it at 245 this week, right? So right here, this is not really telling us anything about what it's going to do tomorrow. This is just saying that they weren't really able to decide, right? It's not a failed 2D. It's not a failed 2 up. It's just another bearish two candle, which could mean continuation tomorrow. So, yeah, there's nothing that's really like attractive about this. Obviously, we can't trade it because the market is closed, but I'm pretty sure we'll see this drop a little bit more tomorrow. We may get a bounce, but I wouldn't be interested in this to the upside until it confirmed by closing above 252. I would like to see it take up, at least a fraction of this candle right here. So, maybe somewhere around 253, a closing there, would make me confident in getting into it to the upside. If it fails this level right here, yesterday's highs tomorrow, if it continues to fail that, then I'd definitely be interested in puts like intraday tomorrow. So yeah, IWM, that's the move on that. Any other stocks y'all want me to look at? Nah, for sure, Big Sean. Yeah, definitely. If y'all can like this, man, I truly appreciate it. Again, like I said, this is the first live. I'm gonna be doing this every day. Just going over what we're doing in the market. Maybe a few little rants sprinkled in, inside the lives, but it's always going to be packed with wisdom. So yeah, you got to determine if it's actual or personal. Yeah, nah, for sure. Nah. All right. So I knew Adam was going to come through with Palantir. Now I didn't look at Palantir yet, but let's look at it. I can tell you off the bat before even looking at it that it's primed to pump, right? Because we took it today and went crazy on it, went to the downside, right? That was the only play that I called today, but it came up and created a bullish engulfing, right? So we got this bullish engulfing, but it still has some work to do, right? I didn't swing this today just because it had a bullish engulfing, because it still has not, cracked the previous swing high, which is right here at about 190, right? So until that happens, we still got all of this, room to come down, right? I'm not completely convinced yet. Right, you got to understand. Like once we go back up and test highs like 208, I believe that's going to be when the market is ready to do so. Right. So being that like Palantir Spot is a tech company, tech does, in my opinion, look like it's going to come down for about a week or two. Right. We also have, like I said, the rotation going into healthcare. MRK did not break the bull flag yet, but you also got to keep in mind that it is in a bull flag. When you see setups like that happening in sectors like healthcare, you got to also remember that, like, okay, if healthcare is getting ready to blast off, then that means that there's some sort of downside that's shaping up for tech. It always works like that. Just go back and in back testing, right? So, like I said, it got the bullish engulfing here on on a daily, but I still don't trust it. We'll it's damn near a Maribosa candle, so we'll see how it opens tomorrow. So here's a few scenarios, right? If it opens above the 190 tomorrow, my immediate guess is that it's going to open and then it'll fail and then it'll close the gap. And if it closes the gap and then bounces, then this really may be trying to go up and fill this gap to the upside right here, right? It may really be trying to test. But if it gaps up and then fails it, right, then we want to see the break of previous day, and then that'll make me interested in puts. So that's the rundown on Palantir. And that level is like I say 181, 181.12. It would say 181. If it can break below that, I'd be interested in puts. Even better if it can come down and break below 177. All right. You already know, Zay. All right, who else we got in here? Delta. What up, Johnny? Good to see you, man. Look, if y'all got any additional, like I said, just drop any stock that you want me to analyze, and I'll go ahead and look at it for you, right? So if it's something that you got on your list, even if it's like portfolio, right? If it's something that you're looking at for long term, I'll show you what it looks like, in my analysis for that as well. Adam said, yeah, I'm hesitant on the upside as well. So I was really thinking about swinging puts for Palantir, but I was just like, nah, it could honor the bullish engulfing. But like I said, we just not in a swing month right now. You know what I mean? Like this little rotation that we're in right now, it's not good for swings, right? So we got to just make sure that we're patient, scalping it out, and doing our best that way, baby. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. So look. So we got some crypto. Some crypto here, XRP, ETH, and BTC. Okay, so we'll go look at that. Off the break, I'm always saying buy ETH, right? Especially where it's at right now, right? Buy ETH. So I'm gonna pull up Ethereum and just look at the chart. So this is the beautiful thing about learning how to trade, y'all. Like if you can read charts, you can trade anything. If you can read charts, you can invest in anything. All right, what's going on with this computer? It's probably because I got so many tabs up. We'll fix that. All right. All right. What's going on with this thing? All right. That is so weird. All right, come on. Here we go. Cooperate. Yeah, I have never seen this move this slow. This is crazy. This is insane. I didn't even type Palantir in. What is going on? See, when you about to give some sauce, they try to throw your shit off a little bit. All right, here we go. So yeah, y'all. If you can read read charts, you can trade anything else. What is going on? This shit is just clicking random shit. My apologies, y'all, for the delay. I'm not sure why this is doing this, but it's being very weird right now. All right, so when I'm looking at Ethereum, it looks like it's failed the bottom twice, right? Also, what I read was that Bitmine is hand over fist pouring money into Ethereum right now, right at this price point. The next order block for this is like 2,800. So I believe it's held that several times, right? Or dipped below it a few weeks ago, barely, but we should be going up, right? There are just a few things that need to take place. I know that Ethereum had like a major event that made it pump for like a day or two and then it failed. So with Ethereum, I don't think that this is something that you should be trading short term. This is something that you should be accumulating. So right where it is right now, great time to buy. 2,800, another great time to buy. If it breaks down to 19, great time to buy. Again, the outlook for crypto should be 10 years, right? That may sound like a long time, but if your outlook is 10 years, these prices are dirt cheap. Right, we'll see Ethereum in the 5-figure category like very soon, right? So, like I said, on the daily, it's failed this downside twice. Let's look at it on the weekly and just see what's going on. All right. Now on the weekly, it actually tells a bit of a different story. Okay, yeah. So on the weekly, this looks like a bit of a bear flag actually. Yeah, this looks like a bit of a bear flag that could possibly come pretty low. Let me actually get this. Let me contract this a little bit. Yeah, Ethereum could be wanting to come back and retest 2200. Yo. If it doesn't come up, right? If this week it doesn't explode, and then next week we open, we open a little bit lower than this candle body right here. We could see Ethereum coming down to 2400 into 2200. So I would definitely be cautious of that. Beautiful thing about crypto is it's just like it's just like tech. It's like Ethereum. You're not going to see the top cryptos on different accords. Like yes, they may not be growing at the same exact speed, but it's not like XRP is going to pump and Ethereum is going to dump. So I'm pretty sure this analysis is pretty transferable to Bitcoin and XRP as well. Let me see what else I got. He said I've been buying ETH and X. Yeah. They in the long run, Alchemist, you're gonna be good. Like that's it's definitely one of those things that we are in it for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Is anything else y'all want to look at? Let me ask you this: Have any of y'all attempted cover calls during this time yet? Have y'all tried to actually like put the cover calls into action? Let me see who been messing with the cover calls, been watching the videos. He's ever watching it before it's live. I got like 4 minutes left to finish. Nice. How have y'all been doing this week, like profit wise? Everybody that's in TPC. I feel like I've been seeing some incredible success stories coming through. He said, "No, not yet. One thing at a time." Gotcha. Yeah, no, the cover calls, like, I guess, like you said, once you master, everything else, those cover calls are a great strategy for times like we're in right now. Periods of consolidation or like slow movement. Let's see. Mark Quinn said he up 100%. That's what I'm talking about, man. In a week, up 40%. Come on. On a portfolio, that's crazy. I'm telling you, listen. All right, so there's like what? There's like 6,000 plus companies. Every day, there is some sort of opportunity. Yes, we would not be able to find every single one, in all of those companies, but there's definitely something, right? All we got to do is just wait for it. And if it's not there, we just go to the next day. Because usually when it's not there, I would say like the next, like what, last week we had we made money all last week too, but we did have some weird days. But there were definitely some days that made up for those, those couple of days where the profits were a little bit lower. So, and it's a Tuesday. Yeah, man. Like I'm not going over, like 2 is like my max. 2 is like my max for the day. You said I've just been trading SPY and gold. Yeah. How's gold been working for you, Mark Wayne? I had so I own a watch company, right? So I had a mentor one time. He's like a master horologist. Does the builds watches and stuff like that. That's what a horologist is, right? So he was telling me, he was like, Marcel, I think you should start accumulating, silver, right? You should start accumulating silver and gold. So this way, when when you go put a piece out, say you do like a custom watch, like I'm doing right now, right? We got these custom watches starting at 3,500 for the template build, starting at 7,500 for the for the full bespoke experience, right? But he's like, when you start doing your custom builds, you'll have accumulated enough precious metals at a specific, like price point so that you'll benefit from the increase in price of silver and gold by the time, the customer is ready to come in and buy it, right? So I'm like, damn. And I did not do it immediately. I did start accumulating, but I didn't do it immediately. He was saying this when silver was $11. $11, right? I can't remember exactly where gold was at that time, but he was saying this when silver was 11. You see where it's at right now. And that's the physical, the physical plate. But I know you're talking about trading, but yeah, man, like metals about to go on a crazy run. Anything else y'all want me to look at? Let me see. Yeah, I have real silver. Yep, yep. I got silver like plates and stuff like that. Yeah, that I've been accumulating. Like I said, my goal for it is a little bit different. Like I eventually want to use the metals. So when you have a manufacturer, right? This is why it was such a smart move. When you have a manufacturer, they of course they're charging you for the labor, and they're also charging you for the the material, right? So it's whatever that precious metal is. Then it ain't no you can't prorate the cost of metals. So if I'm like, hey, I got this many ounces of silver that I can send over to you. Now all I'm paying for is labor with 2017 prices, 2016 prices of silver. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely like the plates, man. Like it gives you that autonomy too, that freedom too. Like he was a mentor of mine for several years. So the way that he lives is like he lives strictly off the plates. Like he got gold, he got silver, and basically like he's like a nomad. Like he lives all over the world. Like he got places in Dubai, Brazil, Kenya, right? And what he's doing is literally just like he'll either mail or he'll just carry plates, right? So he not being tracked on SSN, Social Security number and all of that stuff. Like he's just accumulated these metals and is able to like move about the world, as he pleases. And if he needs to, if he's in a bind or he needs to take something out, he can just sell something. So it's always like a solid like old school, like way to just kind of like be off grid. Let's see. Do you have any real gold? Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, his silver last week gonna swing nice. Do you do applied? I've been watching hymns. All right, yeah. Let's go look at applied. Let's see what applied is talking about. Don't do this to me again. Yeah. I gotta figure out like what this is about. It may be because of the amount of tabs that I have up. I do got a hell of a tabs up. That's on me. But this thing is moving at a snail's pace. All right, so we're going stocks. We're going to apply. Come on. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so applied on a weekly, immediately what I see is, it's on a fail two up, right? So um, it's currently doing what it's supposed to do. We got, 3 more days in the market for the week, so it could come down and and retest the swing low, and possibly break below, or it could break to the upside, right? I don't think that's likely. This looks like a pretty strong candle. It looked like we got a bounce today. It looked like it came as low as about 22.30. I'm not sure if it got any sort of news. It says stock is started. Yeah. There may have been some sort of like news, something, some sort of catalyst that made it bounce. But if we break below, this is on a weekly. I'm not gonna say previous day. But if tomorrow, let's look at it on a daily. Let's make sure I'm not speaking correctly. Okay, yeah. So it bounced. It's in a fail to up. Okay. So yeah, same situation as I think it was SoFi that we were looking at. There's a lot of stocks that bounce today and form fail to Ds, but I'm always giving the weekly priority, right? So we got the fail to D there. Yes, it can retrace. It can retrace itself. So I would be looking to see if it closes above previous day highs. So if we get a confirmation candle, tomorrow and it closes bullish, then it may be possibly trying to blow things up. Um, as long as it's staying below 50% of this previous candle, my bets are to the downside, especially with there being 3 days left. Right? If it was just like a day left, I'd be like, man, this is okay. Maybe it is ready. It might jump or whatever. But with there being 3 days left, like we could see, you know, like I said, a lot of things bounce today. So we could see a fake out tomorrow because there's so much liquidity with everybody seeing the same patterns that we're seeing and taking swings to go long. So it may give us a little bit of upside action tomorrow, and then, like I said, we may honor the fail two up on the weekly. Anytime I see a fail two up or 2D on the weekly, I'm always considering that in my plays. I'm never too quick to be in a swing in the opposite direction when it's showing that it wants to go in a certain direction because of a fail two D or a fail two up. All right, so as far as apply, like I said, my bias is to the downside. But when if it bounces tomorrow, coming off that fail 2D, I would just watch to see if it starts to fail. So you could look at it in a few ways. You could look at it on the orb, see if it fails within that first 15 minutes. That'll be a good time to take it. So with the orb, y'all, like we also take failures of orb. So the orb is saying, okay, in a 15-minute range, whenever it breaks out in any direction, you can get about 10% by taking the next candle entry. But also, if something fails an orb, right, that's a double test of a particular level. That's almost like tweezers, right? So if it comes up and fails and forms like a wick at that same level, then you can take it to the opposite direction. Because think about it like this: if you're not taking it to the upside because it's failing, then where would you take it? Right, to the downside. So the orb gives us a lot of information about like which direction. All right. He said, anyone have a Robin Hood? How we doing? They doing a live stream. What are they streaming about? He said a booty virus. Yeah, man, we gotta figure that joint out. That joint acting slow. Okay, can you OSCR? Yeah, I'll look at that in just 1 second. It said gold bar about 10 grams. Nice. Yeah, just keep accumulating, man. Yeah, no, he was a solid mentor, man. Like definitely taught me some things. So I'll look at hymns first, because I know that Johnny asked about hymns, and then I'll go to OSCR. So let's pull up hymns real quick. Let's see what hymns is looking like. Did hymns change their ticker symbol? Do y'all know if they changed their ticker symbol? Let's type it in right now. Yeah, it's about to be some good stuff, man. Again, y'all, if you haven't, definitely give this live a like, so we can get this out to more people that need to see these levels. All right. Let's see. All right, so hymns on a weekly doesn't look like much of anything. We could possibly be having like a little bit of a bear flag going. So I know a lot of people draw their flags differently. I'm gonna show y'all real quick like how I draw my flags, right? Because a lot of people draw them differently. This is how I draw my flags right here, right? Come on, guys. Craziness. It's almost like a ghost is controlling the damn computer. This thing is possessed. All right, here we go. Yeah, right about there. Okay, so what I do is like, you know, from the very first change of direction, from the confirmation candle, I draw a trend line across that, and then the next, you know, the next level up, right? And then the same for the bottom, right? So your flag should be swinging. You know what I mean? Right? Like, yes, it could. You know, some people call a flag something that might have like a vertical, you know, like a vertical. What's going on here, man? Like a vertical flag, but like what I find is that the flags that, you know, that actually are waving, right? So that's what it's doing. Got the flagpole, and then you got the bearish, you know, the bearish trend up, like the pullback. And so what I'm looking for, whether this is on a weekly right now that I'm looking at it, but whether it's on a daily or not, what I'm looking for is for it to break down out of this flag. So we got this uptrend, right? This temporary uptrend in this channel right here. And then the moment that it breaks out of here, we can bet that it's going to go this distance. And I'll show you that as well, right? So we do a measured move, right? So we're going to come right here to about 65.22, and we're going to bring this down to, like, I hope y'all are taking notes on this if you haven't seen this before, right? This is going to help you with swings, or any sort of like leap if you see this on the weekly, right? All right. So that's the distance, right? This is the distance of the downward move, right? This is the distance of the downward move, and then this is the bear flag right here, okay? So the way that you determine your target is by simply attaching that distance to the breakout, right? So we're going to take this and we're going to bring it down here to the breakout area. So let's say it breaks out in about 2 weeks, right? You can continue to adjust this as, you know, as it starts to play out like in real time. But this is very, very important for, like, you know, a lot of people, you see a beautiful setup and don't get to take, you know, full advantage of it. and you could have got the same money that you would have gotten in like 10 plays from one play just from knowing the like where it could go, right? And obviously, like I said, when when there's a target in mind, it doesn't always have to necessarily go to that target for you to make money. It could be half of it or whatever. I like to start peeling off half the distance. So half the distance would actually be right here at this support, right? So right around 20, 22, $23. So Hims could possibly, fall to this level. That's the bearish scenario. And if it does fail this, this bear flag, and then it breaks up, and then it clears this, this previous candle right here, and breaks above like 40, let's say $43, then well, $43 would actually still be in territory based off of this. So we actually want to say about 45, right? If it breaks up to 45, then that bear flag is invalidated. But up to about $44, Hims is in a bear pattern on the weekly. So this is another another thing that you want to consider if you're looking for like more of a long-term play. I'll drop down to the daily to get a more accurate depiction of like where it's at for this week. So again, this is just like pretty much everything else across the market. Another failed two down within a week that has a failed two up or or a bearish signal. So again, y'all, like we really like when you see stuff like this, when you see the week and the daily contradicting each other, that is a time where it's like no swings. A lot of times you'll see it corresponding, but when they're in conflict, like they're contradicting each other, and we're going into the second part of the week, Wednesday through Friday, you don't want to bother it. One, because now your decay is going crazy, right? You're losing money way more rapidly, and you don't know which one is going to take precedence. So you just got to kind of sit back and wait for the move. All right, so that's Hims. Let's see. Yeah, it's not really that much going on. That's it. You said Hims had a V-shaped recovery in the 15. It's the same. Hims. Okay, cool. All right, bet. Thank you. I'm so glad that was helpful for you, Jamila. Yeah, it definitely might be a time to sell soon for sure on Hims. So let me go to OSCR and see what that's doing. And I'm gonna get off. In about 7 minutes. So this will be the last one. But look, I do appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the first live. We're gonna be doing a lot more of this. I won't have a like Alchemist said, I won't have a booty virus on my computer the next time, so we can get to these setups a little bit quicker and get some more in. But yeah, let me check out OSCR real quick. All right, let's pull that up. But nah, it's good seeing y'all on here, man. All right. So we got Oscar Health. So again, like I mentioned, y'all, like with tech starting to form, bearish signals and more immediate positivity for healthcare, this again falls into that category, right? So we should be seeing some upside. This also, some may say, is just like a wonky reverse head and shoulders, right? It's not pretty, but it's definitely a bit of a head and shoulders going on here with with a bit of a slant. So we could definitely see some upside. Let me look at it on the weekly to see what's going on. We had the fail 2D yesterday. The fail 2 up yesterday. Okay, so bearish. It didn't close below previous day lows, but it does have this little bit of a gap to fill down here. there's nothing. There's not like a crispy, clear set direction on OSCR, right? So what I would do with OSCR is just keep an eye on, like I said, the rotation into healthcare. Like see if some of your healthcare neighbors like UNH or MRK are starting to get some momentum. But there's nothing that I'm seeing here that looks that's attractive. That's making me like want to get into it right now. I don't know this stock inside out. Maybe matter of fact, let me break this down. I'm gonna go do some research on the financials because it could possibly be something that is undervalued and could have some sort of like long term value in it. But just based on technicals for the weekly and the daily, there's nothing that looks attractive to me. Nah, for sure, Adam, for sure, man. Nah, appreciate y'all, man. Yo, Alchemist, you need a mic, man. You need a mic and a podium. Cause you a stand up comedian, yo. That shit had me dying laughing when you posted that GIF. I'm not gonna lie. You said you all over CNC, cool. All right, y'all, man. Like I said, I appreciate y'all, coming and messing with your boy. We're gonna do this every day, 5 o'clock. I'll typically come to the setup with about maybe like 3 stocks that I'm looking to get into. Y'all can come with whatever you want to see. If y'all got any questions, about Prosperity Collective, personal, anything off the charts, right? That might trigger a wisdom rant. Go ahead and drop it in the comments, on the next live, and we just gonna keep doing it like this every day. All right, we going up. I appreciate y'all. I'm proud of each and every one of y'all in the TPC. Right, I see everybody like just making money, going up every week. Right, Best Beezy coming through with a new energy. Right, Alchemist getting to the money. Jamila, quadrupling her account. Right, we just seeing it every day. So these are lock-in sessions. We about to lock in. We going into 2026 with a totally different energy. Right, at 250 that y'all looking to make, I see y'all doing that in the first 6 to 8 months. All right. Y'all gonna, I think halfway through the year, we're gonna see y'all like setting new goals. But that's all I got for you, man. I appreciate y'all. Remember, invest smart, live free, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Hey, appreciate that. Yeah, 2,000 coming soon. All day.